Hi, I'm Phil Constantine. On this episode of Travels with Phil, we're going to be looking at some funny names for towns in the United Kingdom. You may remember on this channel I did a series on funny names for a town in every state in the United States. Well, I saw this map, and I thought this would be an interesting thing to do for the United Kingdom, which includes England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Well, I did some research and found even more names out there on the internet, so let's take a look at them. A lot of these may be villages, hamlets, and I know I'm going to mispronounce them, so just keep that in mind as we go out there. All right, so let's head up. First one is in Scotland. This may be A, maybe E. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. It is AE, and it is in Scotland. And in fact, you can look at the sign here, and it says AE there on the community notice. Almost looks like the A&E channel on cable. Next one, Barking. Where exactly is Barking at? Okay, well, Barking is just out of London, a little bit to the east of Barking. It looks like it's actually part of the metropolitan area. Barton in the Beans, near Leicester. You can see the sign over there, real place, Barton in the Beans. All right, not too far from Exeter is Beer. Yes, an entire town, community called Beer. And you can see the town there right on the coast. Hey, a beach. You gotta have beer, I guess. Is that a guy waving hi at you? Oh, no, it's a traffic symbol. Okay, being silly. All right, Beggar's Bush, just south of London, or a little bit south of London. And, well, there's the bush. All right, the sign, Beggar Bush. Again, very small. And that's what it looks like there. This is just a hamlet, I guess you'd actually call it. All right, looking around Coventry, we have Long Itchington and Bishop's Itchington. I'm not really sure what an Itchington is, probably a person, but the Bishop's got one. There's a sign for that. A lot of these signs will say, please drive safely. And there's another one for Long Itchington. So there's two Itchingtons, one Long and one Bishop. Okay, just be very careful as you're driving around out there laughing at the signs. All right, Blubber Houses, not too far from Leeds. And this is nowhere near the ocean, so I doubt if it has to do with whale blubber, but I don't know. Booze. All right, there's actually a community called Booze. Where are you going? Well, I'm going to Booze, not too far from Middleborough. All righty, looking around some other spots out here. Bodus Fleming, near Plymouth. That actually sounds like a second-rate spy novelist. Maybe it's Ian Fleming's brother, Bodus Fleming. Not too far from Nottingham is Bunny. All right, you got Robin Hood and you got the bunnies. All right, maybe that's one of his merry men being happy, bouncing around like a bunny, but there you go. The sign says Bunny. Be careful. It ends there, too. All right. Christmas Commons, not too far from the Easter Bunny, is Christmas Commons. Well, okay, Christmas Commons, not too far from London. Sort of related, I guess, actually. And there you go. There's the sign out there on the real street. That's where these pictures were taken. Crackpot, that's another spot, not too far from Middleborough. And a lot of these languages, or a lot of the names you may see, may come from other languages, and this was just the English version of them. But look at that, Low Row, Reef, and Crackpot. Interesting towns. You're going to have to read this one yourself. I'm not going to say this one out loud, so that neither will I do this one, so YouTube doesn't get upset with me. And that's another thing. Deep Carius, here's one. But there's a lot of these towns out there, especially for human anatomy parts. A lot of towns are named after those human anatomy parts in England. And I won't say them. But Deep Car, well, there you go. There's the Deep Car dealership in the middle of Deep Car. Not too far from Sheffield. All right, Scotland has got Dull. Yep, there's a Dull town. I wouldn't know if I'd want my safari place to have a big sign that says Dull up above it. But to go along with that, in Oregon, there's a twin city, Boring. There's Boring in the city in Oregon in the United States. So nice pairing there. Giggleswick. This just makes me chuckle every time I see it. Not too far from Manchester, Giggleswick. Can you imagine having that on your postage? That would make your kids laugh. Makes me laugh. And look, next to Giggleswick is Wigglesworth. Boy, that's a tongue twister. All right, we have the Snoring towns. Little Snoring, Great Snoring, not too far from Norwich. And you can see Great Snoring at the top, Little Snoring at the bottom, maybe a sleep in between. But there it is, the sign, the real sign for the real community. And there's one for Great Snoring. There's a bump there to keep you from snoring while you're driving along. All right, in Cornwall, we have Knave Go By. All right, knave is sometimes another word for jack. Well, the sign didn't go by that building there, but okay, there you go. Knave Go By, a real community there in Cornwall. Looking around, what else we going to see? Near London, we got Lip Hook. Lip Hook. I wonder if they sell facial jewelry or fishing lures in this town, some of the services they provide there. All right, I'm not going to make any attempt whatsoever to pronounce this. You're on your own on this one in Wales. And sometimes they call it Landfair PG, so it could be abbreviated. And believe me, you'd drive through the entire town before you finished pronouncing the name of this town. Also in Cornwall, you have London Apprentice. You almost think that some person came down from London, was an apprentice, was showing off, and they named an entire community after him. I don't know what the story is behind that one, but definitely it's for real. And look at the car coming at you on the right-hand side of the road. Definitely England. All right, not too far from London, we have a loose town. I don't know if it got away from somewhere or fell off, but yes, definitely there is a community called Luce. And here's an interesting sign. Next to Luce is Maidstone. You can make your own jokes there, folks. All right, Marsh Gibbon, not too far from London. Marsh Gibbon, that sounded like to me as an ape or a primate. Marsh Gibbon, a description of an animal. I don't know who it belongs to, but evidently they like their beer, and they have their beer festival there. All right, not too far from Plymouth, we have Merry Meeting. That's a cute name. Sounds like another place for Robin Hood, if you're merry men to get together at Merry Meeting. We have Mock Beggar, not too far from the Isle of Wight. It's not a real beggar, it's a mock beggar. That's got to be somebody's name. All right, not too far from Shrewsbury, we have Much Winlock as opposed to Less Winlock. I don't know what the difference would be, but there it is, Much Winlock. They got a lot of it, I guess. Mumbles. I'm not going to say this very loud. Mumbles. There it is. Only one picture. North of London, nasty. There's a nasty spot north of London. And please drive carefully when you go through there. You don't want to have a nasty crash on the roadway. All right, we've got Overwallop, Middle Wallop, and Nether Wallop north of Southampton. Nether Wallop? That sounds painful. I don't want that. And looky here, we got an actual phone booth sitting outside one of these towns, and you can see them together. Over, Middle, and Nether Wallop. All right, not about halfway between Scotland and northern England, have Once Brewed. And in the town of Once Brewed, the inn is called Twice Brewed. Well, appropriately, of course. And there you go, the sign over there. Not too far from Hadrian's Wall, by the way, that separates Scotland from England. All right, Liverpool has Over Peover. They probably pronounce this differently. Hey, but that's how I'm calling it, Over Peover, because it just sounds good to say it that way. Plump. This is another one of those Wales places, Welch. Plump. P-L-W-M-P, shortage of vowels there. Plump. I like the way that sounds. Okay, moving along. Not too far from London, we have Pratt's Bottom. Now, English slang, you have to sometimes look these up yourselves because sometimes things that sound very cute to us may be a curse over there, so be very careful. Ramsbottom, and there's an example. You could call that thing something else, but there it's called Ramsbottom. And interesting town, interesting shape of their little community. Eugley or Ugly, north of London. Yeah, there you go. If you're ugly and you're north of London, you got your own little community. In fact, lots of people stand by this sign and take pictures so they can, do a little joke on themselves. Upper Thong near Sheffield. Okay, I've heard of lower thongs, but an upper thong. And they definitely have a sign pointing them out whenever you see them. And did you know there's actually a cricket club called the Upper Thong Cricket Club? I wonder what their uniforms look like. That would be interesting. All right, we have Upton Snodsbury. That sounds like I am the Lord Upton Snodsbury. Well, with my name, that sounds so like constipated. I'm not going to make fun of people's names, so I don't know where that's from. Westward Ho, not too far from Exeter. This town actually has an exclamation point in the name of the town. It must have been named after a movie. Now, this one, you're on your own again for that town there. It's not too far from York. It's a pretty small little community. And that's what one is shaped like, community. I didn't make up these city limits. And there's the speed limit as you go through those. Those are kilometers per hour. And they have cameras out there, so you wouldn't want this showing up on a government camera. So be very careful as you're going through that community. Wig Twizzle. That's another one that makes me laugh. Wig Twizzle. That's cute. That sounds like it should be in a children's book. And here we go by Bristol. They have Wookie Hole. Now, I don't think this has anything to do with Star Wars. It's actually a series of caves that they called it the Wookie Hole for some reason. And there it is, right there. It's a real place. All of these are real places. And the very last one, appropriately enough, is World's End. So when you're going to the World's End, please drive carefully. All right, there you go. Some strange towns in the UK.
Thank you very much for watching this video. Please feel free to make comments below as long as the language is family friendly. And if you like this video, please click on the thumbs up button below. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the circle with my picture in it in the lower right hand corner of the video. The arrow is pointing at it now. And once you have subscribed, you can be notified of when I have a new video posted by clicking on the bell icon in the description field below the video. Thanks again for watching.